Tonight, obviously, we're in our second week of Pro Tip. And to start today, I'm going to need all of your guys' help. So I am going to ask you guys a few questions about a very famous professional, and I really want to get a gauge on what their reputation is. Don't ruin it, bro. Okay, so I guess my first question is, you can do whatever you want. You could raise your hand, you can make some noise, you could freak the heck out if you want to. Who here is a fan of Taylor Swift? Yeah? Yeah, so only 3-ish people. Okay, who doesn't like T Swift? Don't like her. Okay, so we got equal amounts of people that likes T Swift and doesn't like T Swift. If you're being honest, who doesn't could really care less about T Swift? You don't really care. Yeah, so more people that don't really care about T Swift than not. Okay, so for those 3 people that do like T Swifty over here, did you used to not like her? Or have you always liked her? At one point, did you not like her and then you started liking her? Because that was me. At first, I was she's too mainstream, it's not cool. Yeah. Oh, she's what? Mid? She's mid? That's a cool, what does mid mean? Oh yeah, she's mid. She's totally mid. Guys, you're keeping me so relevant. So, because isn't it interesting that even in maybe this one room, there's Taylor Swift has a bunch of different reputations, right? There's some people that like her. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Did you guys get it? Okay, if you don't know, she has an album that is called Reputation, and it's all about her reputation. If you guys didn't know about Taylor Swift, she has a crazy reputation. So that's why I brought up Taylor Swift. Yay! Taylor Swift. This is who she is if you don't know anything about her. She's a music singer. Anyways, now she sings music. I'm sorry. Should we restart this tonight? Anyways, okay. So reputation is an interesting word though, right? Everybody has heard the word reputation, right? So basically, it's what people generally think about you. So that's the definition of reputation. And it's what we're going to be really spending a lot of time on tonight. So not Taylor Swift's reputation. I just use that as a cool, she has an album called Reputation. Let's make this connect. But we're going to be talking about our reputations tonight. So in this series, Pro Tip, we're talking all about the one thing that can make us better at everything, which is, it starts with a W. Wisdom. We're talking about wisdom in this series, guys. It's rough out here tonight. So having a good reputation certainly fits into that category of having wisdom, right? Because if you have wisdom, obviously you're going to have a good reputation. But there are a lot of things that make this a really complicated idea. Because here's the thing. The reality is you really can't control what other people think about you. And as we unpack reputation, and we're going to get into this word called integrity tonight, you might go, listen, Megan, I hear reputation, I hear this word, I understand that it's what people think about me, but I could really care less about what people think about me, right? Who is like that? Yeah, high five, because that's what I am totally like. That's what I was very much like in high school. That was completely me to a T. I did not care what other people thought of me. I was my own person. I did not need to conform to any specific societal norms. I used to do even silly things of I used to purposely not dress up in high school. I used to wear PJs and slippers to school because I was not going to fit into the norm to where I had to have nice clothes in order to be pretty and liked. So I would wear PJs because I wanted to be cool and different. I was a fierce woman. I was a strong, independent woman. Didn't need no man when it came to all my leadership positions. So from early high school, I was in marching band, if you didn't know. And early in high school, my freshman year, I got invited to be on this team called the quartermaster team. And so if you don't know what that is, there's basically typically made up of all burly guys, older high school men, because you basically set up for the entire practice. So you'll set the podium, you'll drive the lift out, you'll put everything out, and then you also load all of the semi-trucks that you take to all of your away games and competitions. So it's a lot of like heavy work. It's things that are typically in society left for men to do. And so I was not going to let society tell me that I could not do that. So I was going to be strong. I was going to let everybody know that a woman can do it just like a man. And I was also ended up being the head quartermaster my sophomore year. So like from a young age, I was in charge of that team, and I was like, listen, I'm a woman and I can do it. And I also at church took charge and made sure my voice was heard. I loved being here. I lived here basically. And it's another space to where, for me, women oftentimes do not get a voice in churches. And so I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard and that I could be in leadership and I can make things happen and do all of that. So yeah, I get the I don't care attitude because I was totally me in high school. But the thing is, we're not really talking about our ability to be unique or stand out from others, or even just not really like care about the things we do because we like doing things that are different than others. What we're really talking about here tonight is in this idea of reputation, we're talking about how when we follow Jesus, so us in this room, maybe if you're thinking about this idea of following Jesus, on some level, our lives aren't just about us. So our decisions that we make matter because other people matter. So we're really living for more than just ourselves. That's the thing that Jesus did, is he taught us to live for more than ourselves and care about everybody else around us. But even if we have the best intentions of how we live, we still don't have control over what people think. No matter how hard we can try, people can still think different things about us, right? So, I mean, if you may have the best intentions to do every single thing the right way, but what if people try to make the decision about who you are for you? Isn't that so frustrating? Like, for example, let's say maybe you've made a mistake in the past that you're not proud of. You did something that you regret, or maybe you were even just in the wrong place at the wrong time and you got exposed or caught up in the wrong group. And now it's like people think that your identity, your reputation revolves all around that. That's all people see you as, is that one mistake or that one group of friends that you hang out with, even though you don't necessarily do the things that they do. But you still hang out with them, so everybody thinks that you're like them. Or maybe someone has spread false lies about you. I don't know why the heck people do this, and it's really sad. And it's really sad because it happens more often than I think people think. So maybe someone started a rumor about you, and now that's what people think about you, even though it's not even true. Now, guys, whether you have a reputation for doing things that probably aren't the best for you, which weirdly sometimes makes you have a better reputation with your peers, or you're the teacher's pet, and that makes you not have a good reputation with your peers, or maybe you even have one reputation with your parents and a different reputation with your friends, reputations can be really complicated and really weird. And so that's why I really want to spend some time talking about this idea of reputation, so that tonight we can be able to unpack and get some ideas of how we can be able to see our reputation and those around us more clearly. And so tonight in this series, we're taking a really deep dive into the book of Proverbs. And so this is a book with really amazing bite-sized pieces of truth and inspiration and insight that can make all of us better at life and better at things. And so it is, this book helps us be more compassionate and thoughtful and kind and loving and more careful with our choices. So basically this book helps us get to those things. And so where I want to start out tonight is taking another look at a pro tip from this book with more wisdom. So let's pull up the first scripture for tonight. So it says, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely. But he who makes his ways crooked will be found out." Sorry, my thing fell. So I'll read that again. "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his way crooked will be found out." So can anybody tell me, does anybody know what the word integrity means? Yeah? You want to tell us, Jack? You keep your morals? Yeah? Anybody else want to share what they think integrity means? Yeah? Quality of character. Yeah, those are two really great things. Ruby? Being truthful. Yeah, I think those are all really great different ideas of what integrity is. A really basic definition, integrity is being the same person in front of people that you are when you're alone, in a good way. So like, it's not like you're bad, like maybe you're not bad in front of other people and then you're also like evil by yourself too. You're good. No, You're good no matter what. So really, in this verse that we just looked at, we're talking about how when you're really intentional every single day on making the right decisions, you're secure in who you are and what you do, right? When you have integrity, you can have peace in challenging situations regardless of what happens, regardless of the outcome. You can sleep at night knowing that you're okay. You're not worried about someone catching you or what people are saying about you or when everyone finds out about the real you, because you're the same person then than you are when you're by yourself, right? So that's what integrity is. But unfortunately, on the other side, the crooked side, I like that word, crooked. It makes me think of like, I don't know, a crooked thief. So we're doing great tonight. So this is doing the things that might get you ahead. So they might get you the head. They might make you be liked by others, but you know it really isn't the best or the right route. So it's not like it's necessarily illegal or completely bad. It's not like anybody didn't tell you not to do that thing. But it's the people and the things that you do, the things that you say, or the way that you act, to where you just feel icky about it. You feel icky on the inside, or worried that maybe your friends or your parents will find out that you did that thing, that you said that thing, that you hung out with those people, that you were in a situation that led you to something, right? So that's what the crooked way means. And the bummer about this route is that eventually it still hurts. And it still hurts your reputation, and you don't have peace about it, right? I think instead we could look at this next verse about what we should really be aiming for. So let's look at the second scripture for tonight. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. So to have a good name is more desirable than anything in the world, is what it's saying. A good name is equal to a positive reputation. To be esteemed is equal to being respected, right? Does that make sense? So according to this passage, that is better than any riches that you might get in life. That's better than being liked by that one certain group of friends. That's better than having a bunch of money. That's better than having this or that or the other thing. But really, is this whole idea of reputation a big deal? If we can't control what people think about us, does this matter? Or with this verse, are we supposed to just take this verse at face value and believe what it says, and that's that, right? You know, here's the thing that I've seen, at least in my own life, to be true about reputation. Guys, we don't really care. Reputation doesn't really matter to us until we wish we had a better one, right? We don't care about the reputation we have if we have a good reputation. That's nice. That's great. We have a great reputation. Other people think good things about us, so we don't really care about that. But what we do care about is when something happens and then all of a sudden people are saying things to us or saying things about us that we don't necessarily like, and we wish that it was different. Now, guys, you know how I said that I didn't really care about what people thought about me when I was in high school? Well, I didn't really care about it until I learned that I had a reputation to where everybody thought I was bossy. Everybody thought I was controlling. Everyone talked about me behind my back because I was not very kind in the way I went about things in my leadership positions. I was not very kind in the way that I said things to people or the people that I led, the people that were my peers. They were my own friends that would make fun of me behind my back. There were people that I thought I was friends with that would call me really mean names that I cannot say on this stage. Guys, when I found out about that, I was devastated. And this was really a huge turning point because I didn't know that the way that I was being a boss woman, that I was making things happen, that I was establishing my place in the world was hurting other people along the way, right? It's actually a really big turning point in my life and in my faith. Guys, those words, bossy, controlling, me being selfish or unkind, those are still things that I hear in my head when I'm having a really bad day. There's still lies that I tell myself when I feel insecure about where I'm at. There's still lies that I tell myself in this job still. So I didn't want those things to define me. I hated that reputation. I hated the way it made me feel. I hated how I thought other people thought about me. And so in my senior year, I made a drastic change. Guys, I put so much work to change things around. I listened to other people before speaking. I gave other people the platform to voice their ideas without saying anything else. I paid attention to how my actions were affecting others. I tried to lead with a gentleness that I've never led with before. And it's something that I still try to bring into my life today. But it was hard because my past decisions, the things that I didn't know that were causing the decisions I was making, that I didn't know that were causing a reputation, they were building my current reputation that I had in those moments. As high school students, there's a lot of things that you can't control. I get it. You can't control your schedules, the amount of freedom you have, your curfews, maybe even who you hang out with and what you get to do in your free time. You can't control what other people think about you. But you know what you can control? Friends, you can control your integrity. You can control how you treat others. You can control the words that you say and the actions that you make. In other words, the decision that no one sees really is what builds the reputation that everyone is going to remember later on in life. So the decisions that no one sees builds a reputation that really matters. We can make decisions that no one knows about today, right now, that leads us to having a reputation that everybody remembers later down the road. So guys, hopefully the Megan that you know today, the me that you have in front of you, the reputation that I have with you guys, is not the reputation that I had in high school. I hope that that's a real shock, that who you know now would have been mean and unkind to other people and didn't really care about bulldozing other people in the past. The decisions that I made my senior year to change the way that I did my leadership, to change the way that I treated people, was not anything that anybody saw. It's not like I got a pat on the back and then overnight my reputation was changed. But you know what? By the end of my senior year, going into my freshman year of college, I had a totally different reputation. And it's something that I still sometimes, with peers that knew me way back then but don't know me who I am today, still probably think that I'm bossy and controlling and that I don't leave space and room for other people in the places that I'm in. But gosh, guys, I'm so glad that I had the room to be able to grow and change, and that the decisions that I made back then that no one saw is the person that you know today, the reputation that I have today. So guys, what can we actually do about our reputation? If it seems like something that we can't control, what can we control? So here's 3 things that I really want you guys to remember at the end of this, as we going into our weeks and stuff. 1, don't let your mistakes define who you are. Friends, it was the hardest wake-up call of my life to learn that that's what people thought of me. To learn that I was a horrible person to other people, that I didn't let other people have a voice in those spaces, because that was my calling. That was the thing that I loved to do. But you know what? If I let that mistake define who I was, I wouldn't be standing here today with you guys. You have permission to admit that you are wrong. You have permission to say that you are wrong with maybe what you said, maybe how you acted, maybe even who you pretend to be or who you are right now. You have permission to say, I don't like that. Just because your reputation says that you're one thing and who you are does not mean that that has to continue to define you. Just because someone thinks you're one way does not mean that you have to be that way forever. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to make some mistakes and start again. 2, your decisions are a starting point and a launching pad, guys. Your daily decisions to be honest even when it costs you, to consider the needs of others, to work hard when Netflix is calling your name again, right? To get up a little bit earlier to maybe open your Bible or spend some time praying or listening to worship music. These daily decisions really add up over time. Guys, and eventually people will notice the real change in you. They might not know what you're doing, but they will see it and your reputation will start changing. So my question is for you guys, if you were known by like 2 or 3 things, what would they be? If you wanted somebody to know who you are in 2 or 3 words, what would you be? You don't have to know the answer right now, but it's really worth taking some time to think about it. And when you think about it, while you're thinking, take peers and adults into consideration. Is it possible to be the same person around both groups and to still have that integrity? Can you be the same way with your parents or your adult leaders or other mentors in your spaces and the same way with the groups that you have now? If that's a no, then maybe that's looking into the people that you hang out with or the way that you were acting before. So for me, I wanted to be kind. I really wanted to be gentle. And I wanted to be a person that made room for every person at the table. And so my hope is that those are things that I spoke into existence and that I'm known for today. And then 3, this week, just choose one element of your integrity to start working on. It's a really hard thing to change an entire reputation that everybody knows you as. So just start with one thing. Talk to a trusted friend or a mentor. Ask for help on a habit that you really want to change. Maybe even start looking into Proverbs for an additional wisdom. Guys, you probably have already been thinking about the steps that you want to take, or maybe the things that make you feel a little bit icky inside, that makes you not have as much integrity as you really want to do. You know what you need to work on. You don't need to tell anybody else, but it's really great having somebody to walk through and talk with that with you guys. Friends, a good reputation, or even just a good name, is more than just what happens in high school or maybe even afterwards when you guys graduate. Guys, it's about the kind of person that you are. It is about who you choose to be, not what anybody else thinks that you are or makes you out to be. It is who you want to be in life and what you want to be remembered for later and what the reputation you want to have years down the road. Because guys, I know that sometimes it thinks that the decisions that we make today don't really matter for tomorrow, but it can go from 0 to 60 real quick. So remember, the decisions that no one sees is what builds our reputation later.